Welcome to another episode of Inside IALR. Thanks for joining us today. I feel like we've had a lot of anniversaries this year of programs. Obviously, Daniel had our series about the 20-year anniversary of this building, the main IALR building. Today, we have another anniversary episode. We are in our 10th year of the Dan River Year AmeriCorps program, and that year meaning September through August is when their year runs. So we are right in the middle of that year. This program, we'll get kind of into the weeds of what it is and what it has been. But basically, this program is all about STEM and literacy for students in late elementary school. And it's an AmeriCorps program that we run here. So we have three guests. We have Adam Goebel, who is the executive director of the Danville Science Center, which has served as one of the host sites for this program for all 10 years it's been here. We have Dana Silicki, who is the Director of STEM, Lifelong and Service Learning here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. And we have Audia Harris, who is the program coordinator and does a lot of work with this AmeriCorps program, and also was a 3-time member previously. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So I guess we'll start big picture. Kind of let's take it back 10 years. How did this AmeriCorps program begin? And kind of what was the backstory and what was the vision from that day one? So
Dr. Julie Brown had the idea of, can we bring AmeriCorps here? She'd heard about AmeriCorps. There had been past AmeriCorps programs, I believe, previously with the Institute. And so AmeriCorps is kind of like a civilian Peace Corps, and so about giving back to the community, helping the community. So it feeds right into our mission of economic transformation and helping others in our community. And so one of the needs of the community is that we are behind some other areas in our STEM. And so science, technology, engineering, and math. And so we wanted a way to partner with other organizations to try to close that gap in STEM to make our area more competitive in the economy and also have higher skills as well. So starting with that STEM focus, which again feeds right into what we work on in Advanced Learning Department at the Institute, was a good way to bring some members to the area, some service, and serve our community.
And just to bring it a little bit bigger, what is AmeriCorps?
So AmeriCorps is a national service opportunity, and so it is a way that you can give back to the community while serving your community. It's considered national service, so it can give you a leg up when you go to apply for jobs. It's a way that you can build your skills and your resume while maybe you're looking for a career change, maybe you're just looking for a gap year, maybe you just, you're looking to give back to your community in a meaningful way. So it's a way that members can help serve the community here locally. It is a national program. Our program services here in Virginia, but each AmeriCorps program is slightly different.
You're talking about that focus on STEM. That was, very much the focus in the beginning, and I know still is a big part of what you all do. Talk about, this is for all of you, talk a little bit about how you've seen the program change over the years, because I know there's been things that have been added on to that to help enhance the focus of this program.
In the beginning, we did have that STEM focus, and we had a broad range of ages that we worked with, because anybody can learn STEM. Anybody can enhance their skills in that area. So a lot of our partners ranged from youth all the way up to adults in that science, technology, engineering, and math. Over time, our partner sites and also data for our community is saying, literacy is also a need that we have. And so because some of our sites are saying, it's great, the STEM, and there is a need for that, but with the students, especially if they can't read the math problem, they can't do the math problem. So we did add literacy in there as a focus area, as a means to get to some of our audience. You can still teach and help in the STEM areas through literacy as well. It's kind of all-encompassing. Our ages have changed a little bit. We did partner with several organizations in the beginning which serviced adults at the community college and Averett, Goodwill, and things of that nature. But we wanted to really build strong and get really good at what we're doing. Instead of having a broader area, we kind of honed it down a little bit. In the schools, we're working more with middle schools in the beginning, but as our partner sites have said, and what we've seen is some of that gap, the earlier you catch the students, the better to close that gap. So we've now shifted to elementary for most of ours. We do still have some middle school students we work with at some of our partner sites that are after school and out of school time as well, but shifting to a little bit lower age group to catch them while students are still kind of learning to read so that they can read to learn later as well.
With that shift, tell me a little bit about kind of the logistics of the program as a whole now. I mean, Dana, you just mentioned that it's primarily focusing on 4th and 5th grade for literacy and STEM skills. But talk to me a little bit about the logistics of the program. Where are these members coming from? Where are they going? How does that work?
We recruit AmeriCorps members. We use Indeed as our major platform. We also are open to references. We go out and we do a lot of community engagement to recruit AmeriCorps members, but we have members that are fresh out of high school. They've never had, their first job, although this is a national service opportunity. It kind of gives them that work experience. We have retired teachers. That's a group that we love to recruit because they have their background in education or early childhood education. Career switchers. We have some of our members, they were interested in this career, but they're like, hey, I'm thinking about education or nonprofits. So this is a way that they could serve with our program to see, hey, is this for me or is it not for me? So our recruitment pool is very large. We service Danville, Pennsylvania County. So we do try to recruit members in the city, also in rural areas, while still recognizing those needs in the community.
I'd like to add on to that as well, Caleb, if you don't mind. Like you said earlier, we've been a host site since the AmeriCorps program's inception here in Danville. And as far as the quality of the members that have served there, we've had almost 20 different members throughout our 10-year partnership with the program. But the diversity of the service members is what I find intriguing and fascinating. Audia said you've got them coming straight out of high school all the way through retired teachers. And our experience reflects that as well. Each time, these individuals bring different skill sets, different experiences, different wants, needs, desires is what they want to get out of the program. So I think that's a real feather in the cap to their recruiting efforts.
Mm-hmm. I do think that's to have something where you can recruit for the same position that you're recruiting someone straight out of high school and a recent retiree into the same thing. That's not many things like that. So I guess let's talk a little bit about at these sites, both in schools. I know we're working in the elementary schools in Pennsylvania County and Danville, and then obviously at the Danville Science Center, and there are other after school off-site programs as well. Kind of what are the tutors doing? What are the AmeriCorps members doing with the students? What are the activities like? What's kind of the on the ground feel of this program?
Obviously, our operation organization is a little bit different than a formal school system, right? So we have almost 20,000 square foot of interactive public exhibit space. We have a Science on the Sphere. We have a creativity lab, JTMA Mall Charitable Trust Creativity Lab. So we have a lot of different options, if you will, for the members that serve at our site. Obviously, our mission is to inspire our visitors to enrich their lives through science, so it definitely fits in with the STEM focus of the Dan River Year AmeriCorps program. But depending on the member, they bring a different and unique skill set that we can A, either build upon, or B, if there's something that they would like to work on during their time while they're there, we can have them, even simple stuff like soft interpersonal skills, public speaking in front of a diverse audience. That's not something that's normally taught in a formal school system, but you have the options to have those experiences when you serve at the Science Center. AmeriCorps members help us in our creativity lab where we do critical thinking, problem-solving kind of challenges throughout the day. They sometimes are helping with groups or Boy Scout camps in our facilities and within our galleries. We had an AmeriCorps member that had a background in botany and really liked outdoors, and we found her as a very good fit in our seasonal butterfly station, where she was able to parlay those skills and background and experience in botany and plants and help to educate and inspire kids as they came through the butterfly station, learn about habitats and pollinators and so on and so forth. So ours is a little bit different. It's not like a cookie cutter approach. Every AmeriCorps member does the same thing. What we like to do is we like to find where the strengths and the weaknesses of each of the individual members, because they do come from such a diverse audience and background, right? And how can we match the needs of our programs and services with the skills and the strengths of the AmeriCorps members. But also there's the other side where it's not all about what can they do for us, is what can we as a host site do for them. So that there's that personal development aspect to where if there is something that they want to work on, if there is a skill set or a specific interest that they have and they've never really had the opportunity to kind of dive into, if we can provide that experience, then we do the best we can to try to match what they would like to get out of the program and also what we get out of the program, but how we can also help them develop both personally and professionally throughout their roles they serve.
Right. As you were talking, it just kind of clicked in my brain that, and I think with ATDM, I remember one time our former director calling it a win-win-win program, and I just heard as you were saying that this is beneficial for the students who are coming or the people who are coming and experiencing this, and for the members who are getting these skills and gaining work experience or getting to contribute back to the community. I mean, both of those things, gaining skills and contributing back, and then for the sites,
right,
for the Danville Science Center, the school divisions, or whichever site they're at, that this is beneficial for all three of those.
It helps us increase our capacity and what we can do to the people that we serve within the community, right? We're very small staffed, so whenever we can have assistance and be able to add not only quantity but also quality of the experiences that we can offer, that's where the AmeriCorps program has really, really stepped in. In
the schools, what does it look? I know, because what you're saying at the Science Center is very different than what's
very
happening.
Dynamic, right?
What's happening in the schools? What's going on in the school divisions?
So in the schools is different for each school. A little bit, but the main outline is the members are paired with a couple teachers generally in those STEM or English classrooms, and they're working with students who have been identified as needing some extra assistance. So a lot of times the members will be there in the classroom hearing what and how the teacher teaches, because it's changed a little bit for some of us that have been out of school for a while, and so that they can see some of that content. But a lot of students, if you have a classroom full of students, they have different learning styles, they have different abilities and levels of prior knowledge, that it's really hard for the teacher to identify and meet all of those needs at a time. So the students that have been identified as needing extra assistance, the member can step in and pull those students. Sometimes it's in the back of the classroom, sometimes it's in a completely separate area, in small groups and one-on-one, and further enhance what the teacher is doing. So they're not reinventing the wheel of what the teacher is teaching, but having that one-on-one and small group intervention proves beneficial to the students in, one, getting a little bit more attention, and also there's a mentorship aspect that comes in there too, which studies have shown when they have those trusted individuals and that time to really build that bond, working on those helps students succeed as well. So they get that extra opportunity to have a little bit more one-on-one time to further expand any questions they have or things that they might have missed, or have the information given to them in a little bit different way, because we all learn differently, while also feeling that they are definitely included and have a voice to help them and answer any questions that they have to make sure that their needs are being met as well.
Audia, I think you have a unique perspective as someone who has served as both served as a member and now helps to manage the program. So tell us a little bit from your experience. Kind of what is it like? And I know it has changed, because as we were talking about, the program has changed some. But what is it like serving as an AmeriCorps member? And then kind of how did that experience help you going forward in your career?
I believe I was in the first cohort in 2015. At that time, we had full-time service positions, so I was a full-time member serving 1,700 hours. My service site was the STEM Academy and the Regional Alternative School located in Pittsylvania County. My site supervisor was Deborah Powell. She's retired now, but it was very rewarding for me. I completed 3 service years with the Dan River Year program. I've always had a love for students and education. My background was in early childhood or early child care, but I ran across the post on Indeed, and the thing that stood out to me was working with students in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So being there, as Adam mentioned, gaining that professional development, I was able to work with students, teachers, administrators, network, recognize some of those student needs. In 2015, I served from 2015 to 2018, and mentoring was a big part of the program then. So not only were we tutoring, the members were also mentoring and building that rapport and those relationships with the students. As an alumni, I feel like it's helped me as a program coordinator today because I've been in the position or in the shoes of the members. So I can relate to them firsthand. I know what it's like to go to your site. I know what it's like when you're trying to get those service hours in. I know what it's like when we're providing trainings and different opportunities. So it's really afforded me a great experience to know that I was a member. I served in the community, giving back, earning that program and professional development. The theme at the Regional Alternative School was Diamonds in the Rough. And I feel like that we were polished. It polished me for the next step for my career path.
And obviously now you work here, so that's
I do,
good.
and I love it.
I've got something I would like to add to that too, just a unique experience from the Science Center's perspective. Audia started off as a service member. Obviously enjoyed it, did well, and was hired on as a program coordinator later on to help facilitate the program. We've had, like I mentioned earlier, I was trying to count back, it's at least 15, if not 17, AmeriCorps members throughout the decade that we've been a very gracious partner to the program. But of those, we've actually, in turn, we've had several that have served multiple terms over multiple years, but we've also, in turn, been able to bring on 4 of those AmeriCorps members over the course of the 10 years to become employed at the Danville Science Center. So it's not only about the experience, but also I think there's some good networking. You get to learn opportunities, you get to meet different people, and it kind of helps you get your foot in the door, as in the case of the 4 AmeriCorps members that have gone on to serve as an employee of the Science Center once they finish their service year. So I think that's an indicator that the program's working.
Dana, you want to talk to that too? Because I know there's a lot of those kind of success stories of people serving in the program and then going on either to work with the organization that they served at or just in general going on to do cool things.
Being in our 10th year, it's been great seeing some of our past members, especially in the path that they've taken since their AmeriCorps service. Like Adam said, and he does a great job at his site of what they do in their service is tailored a little bit different for every member because everybody's in a different point in their life looking for different skills. So being able to see members that were able to build on skills that they already had or learn new skills, it's been neat seeing how some with that networking and experience have been able to get jobs at their site or at similar sites due to the experience that they acquired. We just had one of our 2017 members was just Teacher of the Year at the school that he works at, and I remember he was one of our summer members, just starting out. He wasn't quite sure if he wanted to go into teaching, and so we've had a lot of stories of, because this is, a year of service. Now, the year of service could be 3 months to 12 months, depending on your contract length, but it's a little bit less of a commitment than a full-time job jumping straight in. And it's a little bit easier to get into because there's not quite all the qualifications that you would need to be, say, if you're interested in going to teaching. So it's a great way to see, is this a good fit before you invest in that full degree and license and things. And so that's been really great seeing. For some members, they've said, yes, this is what I want to do. It has reinforced what they want. For some members, they said, oh, this is not for me. I'm glad I had this experience before I did fully invest in that and realize it's not what I want. So one of the great things about AmeriCorps is having that opportunity, because it's hard for any of us to know exactly what you want to do. If you haven't gotten your feet wet in that field yet. So we've seen a lot of success stories of members going on, remaining in the field. We've seen it's still a success if they realize this is not what I want to do, and maybe it's introduced them to other opportunities as well.
As Adam, as you and Dana were talking about that, I was just thinking how similar this is to an internship, and the way that, a lot of times you see interns go on to work for the company that they're at, and that same idea with internships, that you want them to either figure out they like that thing or that they don't, and that's cool to hear that. Just, you guys break that down like that. What kind of success and impact does this program have on the students that we work with? Like, is there either anecdotally or tangibly, like with the numbers, are there ways to break down, like what kind of impact is this having with the students who are involved?
So the students not only receive extra services or tutoring in the classroom, but they also build those relationships and rapport with the AmeriCorps members. And although we monitor test scores and social emotional learning, things like that, it's some of the small things that count. We've had students that are struggling with handwriting. And because they're working one-on-one with our AmeriCorps member, we've had success stories where the parents are coming back like, hey, my child's handwriting has improved. They said that they had an AmeriCorps member working with them in the classroom, and look how proud, that the students are when they're writing, and it's, they can read it, and the AmeriCorps members can make out what they're trying to say, doing their tests and things like that. So we've had those stories. I think the members, it's very rewarding for the members because they see where the students are when they begin serving with them on day one, the first day of school, when they're meeting a total stranger, right? They've never seen this person, and they're like, hi, my name is such and such. I'm with the AmeriCorps program. I'm here to help you. And students can be kind of timid at first, but around this time, as we close out first semester, the students are like, hey, I can't wait to see you after Christmas, or you weren't here yesterday. Where were you at? Because they may have had a doctor's appointment or something like that. So the students really look forward to the AmeriCorps member serving in the classroom. They're serving as an extra set of eyes, an extra set of hands, and sometimes the students are fearful to raise their hand and answer a question or speak in front of the classroom, but the AmeriCorps members also build their confidence. Just like I mentioned with handwriting or team building or student mentoring. So they make them feel comfortable not only with social and emotional skills, but also with their learning and their schoolwork throughout the day.
That's a cool component of it, that it's not, it's not just those, here's how the SOL scores improves. Like, that's not really what this is about, that this is more about making sure that they develop those emotional skills, the handwriting, those simple things, and as Dana, as you said in the beginning, to make sure they don't fall behind. In some ways, that's all of that is connected. I think what's the coolest thing about this program is that how it has evolved, and I think that kind of matches what the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research is all about, is that we pride ourselves in being able to adapt and move quickly to meet whatever need arises in the region. And to see how this program has changed and, what partners are involved, what schools we're in, what age group we're working with, what the focus is for those students. I think it's really cool to see kind of the continued evolution of this program. Now we're 10 years in. What's next? Are we going to keep going steady? Is there what are we hoping to see out of the Dan River Year AmeriCorps program going forward?
So one of the great things is that, we do have the flexibility to not keep doing the same thing just because that's the way it's been done. Because the program has evolved in topics and ages. It really has evolved to meet the needs of the community. So moving forward, hopefully we will still be able to evolve to meet the needs of the community and not just do something because that's the way it's been done in the past. And so in the upcoming years, we're looking at community health educators, still tutoring in school and out of school time, and mentorship, also adding in some disaster services so that our community can be prepared when an emergency occurs. Youth mental health is a large need that AmeriCorps is focusing on in the future as well. So it's great having the opportunity to not be stuck in one specific area. I think as we go on and look forward to the next 10 years, hopefully. What it looks like 10 years from now may be completely different than what it is now, because we have that flexibility and hope that we're continuing to meet the needs of the community, so that we can really have that impact, not just on the clients and students, that we work with, but also the members, to make meaningful change.
I mean, I think we could say that for the whole Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, that in 10 years, who knows what's going to be going on here and how similar it's going to be to what's going on now. And that's the point, that it's meant to meet whatever need is there at that moment. I guess last thing, what are the current opportunities for someone who may be interested in this program? What are the current openings and opportunities that are available?
So right now we are recruiting members to serve with our program for second semester. Of course, we're entering into our winter break, but when we return, we hope to place members. We have a few slots open currently in Pittsylvania County, and that will be Gretna Elementary School, Mount Airy, and we have another position that's open with Stony Mill. So those members will serve a 5-month contract for the second semester, and then around spring we began recruiting for summer. So our summer program is very, very popular. I will say it's very competitive. We do have a lot of college students that are home for the summer, and they serve a 10-week contract here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research with our summer STEM camps, and they are very popular. So we look forward to that every year, and we're always impressed because we have a lot of returning members. So not only do we recruit new members that are serving with the program for their very first time, but we have a lot of AmeriCorps members after completing a term of service. They are always interested in returning. Again, not only do the members receive a stipend, but they receive a Siegel Education Award. And that Siegel Education Award can be used for past student loans that they've already accumulated, any future college courses or classes that they may want to take. If the member is enrolled at the age of 55 or over, they can actually gift that Siegel Education Award to an immediate family member, such as a child or grandchild. So that's one of the perks of the program. For me, I earned over $12,000 in Siegel Education Awards that I used towards my bachelor's degree. So, those are the slots that we have open for second semester, and then fairly soon we'll be recruiting for summer. But now I'll pass the torch to Adam, because we do have a new member that will be serving with his program fairly soon.
We do, and she is an alumni of the program. She decided she'd like to try a little different site, and she will be starting in January. We're looking forward to her and her excitement and her passion. And I think that's something that's cool about the program. I mean, let's face it, we won't talk about numbers or figures, but you're not going to get rich serving, right? So it's not about getting rich. It's more about what you can give back to your community. And I think that shows in the passion of the service members that do take advantage and actually serve throughout the year. But as one starting in January, but we also have another minimum time position that we're currently recruiting for. And it will be about it's a 300 hours, so it'd be, depending on whether or not it was spread out over 3 months or 6 months, it would be a service of, 15, 17 hours a week, give or take. They will help with our summer camp. So we also have a big summer camp program, but we also have a big need in our creativity lab as well as our outdoor butterfly station. It's very, very popular throughout the summer. And the one that starts in January, I think she's going to be a very logical fit for it, because she's real big into plants and botany and, would you say, hydroponics? Hydroponics, which is something that we haven't dabbled in the past, but hey, this might be that open door to kind of see what we can do and how she can help incorporate that into some of the things that we do when it comes to environmental education and literacy.
Well, that's all the questions I have. I mean, like I said, I think this is a cool program that kind of exemplifies what we're all about here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, which is meeting whatever needs are in the region, filling those gaps, and then being willing to adapt and change as needed. I think it's a really cool program. But are there anything else? Is there anything else that you guys would want to add or think it's important that people know?
We're always looking for new members. We can work with members on building based on their interests to their strengths. A lot of times members will apply for one specific position, and when we interview them, we're like, no, we think you'd be a better fit in this other one. That's one of the beauty of the program in that it's not just about the position itself, it's about building that member. So we're always looking for people. Really having that heart for service is going to tell us more than what your resume says. Now, there is a high school diploma or GED, and they must be a lawful U.S. Permanent resident or citizen. However, the personality and really that willingness to serve is really what we're looking for in finding positions and people to fill those positions.
And I'll just add in closing, since we are in our 10th year, we have a goal to fulfill 10 service projects this year. So the members are going out each month to serve in the community for 10 service projects. So we're always looking for new partners as well. New partners where the members can give back to the community and not only raise awareness for the AmeriCorps program and national service, but also give back under different capacities. So each month you'll see us out in the community, boots on the ground. We've partnered with Avery University. We've partnered with God's Storehouse, God's Pit Crew, House of Hope, the Pittsylvania County Libraries, the Danville Science Center, our 9/11 project. We cleaned the trail behind the Danville Science Center, the River Walk Trail. So we're always looking for new partners, new organizations where the AmeriCorps members can come and serve, give back to the community, and still raise that awareness for national service.
So anyone that is interested, Audia, what's the easiest way to apply?
The easiest way to apply, you can apply on Indeed.com, and you can search the Dan River Year AmeriCorps program. You can give us a call. You can stop by the Institute. You can email your resume at AmeriCorps@IALR.org. We're always accepting references. Again, word of mouth. Feel free to check out our Facebook page, Dan River Year. We have an Instagram page. Sometimes you may find an opportunity at IALR.org. We want to shout out Brian Stanley. He's in training today, but he's a part of the puzzle. He and Dana and myself, we make up the AmeriCorps team. So we all fit together. We have our strengths and we feed off of each other, but we work very well together. So shout out to Brian. But feel free to check us out on Indeed, AmeriCorps@IALR.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Megabytes, IALR's on-site cafe, features everyday favorites, convenient ordering options, and an eager staff ready to welcome and serve you. Our enticing menus offer something for everyone, from a fresh, well-stocked salad bar, wraps, sandwiches, and our rotating hot buffet offered on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Megabytes is open Monday through Friday from 9:15 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. To view menus and for more information, visit IALR.org/megabytes.